Today, I'm giving you the chance to absolutely roast my shoe rotation. Tell me what's elite, what's mediocre, and what's absolute tragic and needs to go. I own far too many running shoes and I keep buying more. So you're about to see the full lineup from my all-out park run full send shoe to the trusty Sunday long run shoe that I wear with the lads. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What should stay, what should be retired, and if there's a shoe that you think I'm seriously missing out on, let me know down below in the comments. All right then, let's start with the best shoe category of them all, the parkrun full send shoe, not to be confused with my race day shoe. If you know me, you'll know I absolutely love a parkrun. Now there are currently two shoes in this category. The first is the Kit Run KD 900 X2, and yes, it's only 99 quid. It's an absolute rocket, lightweight, comfy, and just an all-round fun shoe. It's got a carbon plate, which helps me to beat everyone else at parkrun. It's good on pretty much all surfaces, which comes in particularly handy as I turn up to most of my park runs not knowing either the course or what the surface is going to be. It's good at cornering too, which is always a bonus at park run, which can be both twisty turny but can also require a high level of people dodging skill. Now I don't mind trashing this one too, so if it's wet or muddy conditions, I'll put these on and I'm not bothered if they get ruined. It's one of those kind of shoes. Now another park run shoe that I'm using at the moment is the Li-Ning Fedian 6 Elite, a bigger, more explosive shoe that's better for road park runs, ones with less turns and those longer straights, just like the Severn Bridge one that I did last weekend. Now I've still not got my head around AliExpress where you have to buy these from, but you can basically pick this up for around 150 quid with the various vouchers and the store coupons that are out there. Li-Ning have nailed this shoe. It's extremely bouncy, it's a lot of fun and comfortable with a very smooth floaty ride. Now the foam is very soft, but it didn't feel too soft to lose out on any of that speed. For the price, it's also a banger. My only negative though was the cornering wasn't great in this shoe. It felt a little bit like an Adidas Prime X strung in the corners. Big and pretty sketchy, but on the straights, it is phenomenal. It looks pretty rascal too. It's the only shoe I've ever owned from Li-Ning, but many of you legends have advised me to pick up the Li-Ning Red Hair 9 Ultra. I think I got that right. So it looks like I'll be getting that one very soon as well. All right then, let's move on to the everyday shoe, the bread and butter of my training. This is the pair that I rack up most of my mileage in. The first of my two easy run shoes is the Adidas Evo SL, and honestly, I get why Adidas have sold 10 million pairs or more of this shoe. I've got them in by far the best colorway ever made, and they are bloody brilliant. Now, I reckon you can pick these up now for around about 110 quid online. Since Adidas dropped the Evo SL, I feel like other brands have been forced to bring their prices down because runners now know you can do almost everything in this shoe at just a fraction of the cost. Great work, Adidas. I love that light strike foam. It's responsive without being overly soft, and visually, like I said, this might be the best looking shoe that I own. Great colors, clean lines, just a solid design all round from Adidas. Comfort isn't their main focus, but for an hour's easy run, they are spot on. I've even taken them into a few track sessions. They hold their own at those top end paces, no problem at all. No carbon plate in sight and nothing fussy, just a simple, versatile daily trainer. I'll admit I didn't love them at first. The light strike foam felt like it was built for speed and I assumed it would break down pretty quickly, but here we are 502 kilometers later and they still feel great. A really strong everyday option. One thing I don't like though is the narrow arch over the stack eye. It's just a bit flimsy on the ankles. Now, another easy run shoe I use is the Nike Vomero Plus. I was sucking into buying this after all those influencers of the world convinced me that it was better than the Asics Superblast 2, and I must admit, I used it loads initially, but a lot less so recently. I've done 366 kilometers in this shoe, and whilst it is good, I don't think it's great. It's Nike's max cushion traction daily trainer designed to deliver a soft, energetic ride for high mileage weeks. It costs a lot, at around 160 quid. It weighs 310 grams in my UK size 10, with a massive midsole made entirely from that Zoom X foam. Supposedly Nike's most responsible cushioning foam. I'm not sure it is the real Zoom X foam compared to like the Alphafly. Compared to the Evo SL, it's much heavier and it's much more focused on the comfort side of things. But to be honest with you, the weight of the shoe just doesn't lend itself towards a comfortable shoe. It's just a little bit too bulky for me to enjoy those longer, easier runs. I like it for recovery runs when your legs are battered, but for pure easy days, I want something a little bit lighter. I'm definitely open to some suggestions for a new easy run shoe. Let me know your suggestions in the comments below. Moving up the gears then, and my race day weapon of choice. Now this has changed over the last month because I've picked up one of the most hyped shoes of all time. The Puma Fast R3 Elite, I think it's called, or something like that. This one right here. It absolutely crippled me financially, but what a bloody shoe this is. Puma reckon this improves your running economy by over 3%, which sounds like a massive lie. But I've now done 2 all-out 5Ks in back-to-back weekends over the last month, with the first being in the Adidas Pro 4, and I did that in 15 minutes 17 seconds. And the second, 1 week later, a 5K in the Puma Fast R3 Elite, and I did that in 15:01. That's a 16-second difference, which is 1.75% improvement. Now that's pretty nuts if you ask me. Now in terms of looks, they look absolutely terrible, and when you put them on the feet, it feels like you're standing uphill. But to be honest with you, who cares about all that when you run as fast as you can do in them? The ridiculously long plate just propels you forward beautifully, and they are extremely light, and I mean extremely light. I've only raced once in this shoe, and like many others, my legs did feel pretty battered afterwards. But if it gets you a PB, I'm here for it. I've raced in a lot of shoes recently, the Adidas Pro 4, the Alphafly, the Vaporfly 3, as well as the kit runs. One shoe I've not raced in, mind, is the Asics Metaspeed, and in my race a few weeks ago, Ben felt and he paced me, and he wore a pair of those Asics Metaspeeds. Maybe it's time I give this Asics a go. All right, the next category then is my road session shoe. Those sessions where I'm working at my half marathon, my 10K and my 5K paces, often clocking north of 20 kilometers in a session. Now I've got a few options here. On days where the focus is volume, pure volume, loads of miles, I'll whack on my Adidas Prime Strung X2. Yes, they are stupidly unstable, but that double plate and 50 millimeters of stack height eases the load massively, and you've just got to make sure there's no cornering in the session at all because, well, they're not great on the ankles. These boys are heavy and they are terrible at anything faster than a half marathon pace, but when you are at that half marathon and marathon pace, this is by far the best shoe I have for that job. Now, if it's a shorter, sharper road session, I'll whack on an old race day shoe, either the Nike Vaporfly 3 or the Adidas Pro 4. Both shoes were great as racers, but in their old age, they lack that freshness of my brand new Puma Fast Stars. I don't like how brands sell super trainers. Shoes like the Zoomfly 6 seem pointless to me when you can pick up a pair of older race day shoes like the Vaporfly 3 for a cheaper price, and they're gonna be a faster shoe as well. Makes no sense to me. All right, moving on to my favorite run of the week, and that is the long run, always on a Sunday, of course. Now, I'm doing my long runs in the all-new Asics Super Blast 3. Oh, what a tank this shoe is. I was obsessed with the Super Blast 2s, and when I picked up the Super Blast 3s, I wondered what they would do to ruin a great shoe. Everyone seems to be doing that at the moment. So far though, I've been very impressed. They've changed up that foam by adding a layer of that FF Elite foam, which instantly softens up the ride. They've improved the fit too by adjusting the upper, and it is so comfy. I think the colorway is mint too, but the real test will be in its durability. By adding that softer foam, I wonder if the durability of the shoe will be compromised. And that's what made the Super Blast 2 so good, with mine racking in 1,600 kilometers. It's a sensational shoe though that you can use for almost any run, but I choose it for my Sunday long runs because at the end of a hard week, you want to feel comfortable, and boy, does this shoe feel comfortable. I'll occasionally do some of my Sunday long runs in the Nike Vomero 18, a shoe that I really hated at the start. I mean really hated, and that's because of that heat buildup, and it was just so not good for running. But credit where credit's due, this one has gotten better as time has gone on, and I've done around 868 kilometers in this shoe, and while it's not the shoe it once was, it's been a solid servant to me. Last on my list then is my trail running shoe, and I've gone for a bit of a different brand. I'm wearing the Mount to Coast T1 and H1. Now, I figured as someone who knows nothing about trail running, and I mean absolutely nothing, I'd give a brand a chance who specializes in trail running, and these shoes are world class. The T1s, right? I will whack these on in the winter months when the ground is heavy and you're expecting to get wet as feet. These are waterproof and have unreal grip, which is all you can ask for in the winter months. Now, it's getting towards spring and summertime here in the UK, and the H1 that I've been using, this is a lightweight road to trail shoe that I take out when the weather is more favorable, and it's bloody lightweight, very comfortable, and it's ideal for those drier surfaces. All right then, that completes the full rotation of questionable footwear decisions. Feel free to destroy me in the comments. Tell me what's elite, what's overrated, and what should be launched straight into the nearest bin. Now, I give you full permission to roast me. You can even roast my hair color too, but remember, I can dye my hair color, you'll still be a That's all from me today, guys. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.